Hello guys, long time no see. We're finishing the Zerocalcare character analyses video today. Yay! In all seriousness, when the first part came out in August, I had already pre-recorded two other parts that were supposed to come out like the weeks afterwards, but I just suck at uploading on this channel. I upload so much more on the second channel. You guys should go check that out. I get a little bit more views on there than on this channel, you know. But I have some things in mind I want to end the year off with on this channel. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the second thing, but I at least want to finish this off and kind of wrap the bow on the Zerocalcare stuff, because I don't think there's gonna be any more that come out. But even if I'm wrapping the bow on this, okay? We're gonna go into more stuff, and it's gonna be fun. So yeah, without further ado, here are the next two character analyses. I really do hope you enjoy. Why the character of Secco works. If you're watching this, that means the last video did what it needed to do and was actually successful, so thank you guys for that. Or you know, I just wanted to release the video since I already recorded them. One or the other. Either congrats or shame on you that I was still forced to release this, because I don't want this series to be unfinished. But since the last video focused on Zero and his character's journey within the series, I wanted this one to go around and focus on Secco, the best friend of Zero, and his character journey within the series. Was there more to him than meets the eye, or was he just Zero's friend? Let's watch and find out together. To talk about Secco's character will be difficult, because out of these three main cast of characters, he has the least amount of speaking time, normally just around or on his phone waiting to say a few catchphrases. His first introduction was in episode 2, where we immediately start to see how Zero views him. His first two lines were, "I don't give a shit, shall we go get some ice cream?" And I don't mean that those two sentences were his first two lines, I mean that he said that exact phrase twice. This is all his character seems to be on the surface level to us. A funny lad that says one or two things then goes on with his day. He's this very nonchalant, cool guy that Zero can talk to about anything, and he's also kind of an arsonist? Question mark, question mark? While everyone has a goal they're striving for, Zero wanted to be a cartoonist and Sarah wanted to be a teacher, Secco didn't really care about an end goal. He doesn't want to be the king of the pirates, he just wanted quick money, which is why he ended up playing poker online. I feel like Secco has a lot of stuff that he bottles up and keeps to himself. Not that he's afraid to say it, but he's aware of how the world is and how it operates. He has his views and opinions, and they don't change for anything really. He'll say what he means once and be done with it. He doesn't let stuff phase someone on the outside really, but I think it's very easy to tell that he does care about these guys. These guys being Sarah and Zero. Why? Because why would he be listening to them if he didn't care? Especially Zero, because Zero will talk you to death. And that's not a statement. That, my friend, is just a fact of life. Secco is said to be someone who only cares for himself. As long as he gets his ice cream or whatever else he wants, it doesn't matter. He's happy. But I don't think that's true. I think Zero's trying to put a little fast one on us. I think he's projecting a little bit upon Secco. And not projecting in the sense that he's forcing the way he sees life onto Secco. I think he's just showing us the way he sees Secco, but this is not actually like Secco's thoughts or Secco's... like, the way they describe the character and his actions don't line up to me. Period. Let's talk about it. I'm referring to the pizza scene, and no, I'm not talking about Little Caesars. Zero was going on and on about maybe trying a new type of pizza, but not wanting to be disappointed with the outcome, and maybe having Secco order it and he'll get some of Secco's plate, and maybe that'd be the best of both worlds, where he tries it, but if it's bad, he won't have to finish it. It's not his plate, it's Secco's. But when he asks Secco for it, Secco just says no, which I think is reasonable, but Zero calls him egotistical for it. There's not much characterization they give Secco within Zerocalcare. I would have thought he had zero relationship with Alice, but after Zero's world came crashing down in the end, Secco mentions that the moment Zero didn't pick up his phone, she called him, and instead, they talked for hours. He even went to visit her. Secco is a caring person, maybe a little bit of a loose cannon, but only because we are seeing what Zero thinks and sees of him. But clearly there's more to him than that. Clearly he has his own thoughts and emotions we're almost completely unaware of. Somehow in this world, Secco's character is basically the same. He's still as monotone and still as nonchalant as he was in the previous season, But I do think he has a little bit more shining moments within here than in previous seasons, so we're gonna talk about said shining moments. Every time Cesare is brought up, he always says, I don't care, I don't like the guy. He never explains why, he just doesn't like him. He says that's it. So when it's revealed to us that he's a Nazi, Secco immediately chimes in and goes,
I was right, wasn't I?
And I just find that to be kind of hilarious and great because it goes with what we were saying earlier about his character. Also, he's involved more in the plot within this one and is on the side to fight for refugees to stay around, and goes as far as to bring his explosives with him that everyone knows he loves to play with. I feel like his actions kind of confirm what I was talking about when I said that his character feels like there's a lot more to him behind the surface, even more than what Zero is showing us. I understand this is how Zero sees him and how he feels that the conversations go on with the lad, but things don't add up here. How can you say he doesn't care about anything when he picks up Alice's call? It goes on to meet her when you didn't. How can you say he's really selfish when he's going out of his way to go to Alice's funeral and to help you and the rest of the sides to fight to keep the refugees here? I'd hate to be that guy, but his character works because I like a mysterious fella, you know? Hiei, Jotaro, and Secco, that's the main three mysterious characters in the world. Why the character of Sarah works. This is probably one of my favorite characters within this series, not because it's something I can relate to on a deeply sad and mental state level, but it's because it's somebody that I need in my life, either romantically or platonically. We all need an emotional support character within our lives, and it's bringing me down, man. I'm getting so upset, man. We all need that. I need that more than anything. But before we get too far into it, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. In Terralong, for the majority, we get Zero's interpretation of how he thinks Sarah is. She's seen as the mother of the group. She's very kind, caring, and supportive, but also kind of naggy. She does it out of love. If someone like this was to ever stop caring about you, you have done something horribly wrong to her, and you should be ashamed of it. She keeps Zero's long and overbearing tangents from going off into fantasy realm and bringing him back to reality with how the world really is. You would think her type of character would be all positivity, but it's more real than that. She is positive, but she doesn't shy away from explaining issues going on in someone's life or the world. This world. She was even like that to Zero as a kid, which is where the single blade of grass line comes from. Her bringing him back to reality, thinking the teachers saw him as someone special, and the fact that he felt her devastated him. But Sarah was able to explain that she views everyone as such. He's just another number for another year's batch of students, which can be seen as kinda negative, but she says it in a way where it's refreshing. Like a relief that you don't have some high standards to achieve every single time. While she has been a guiding light, she has also had a goal in mind for her whole life. Ever since she was a little girl in school, she's always wanted to be a teacher. No matter how many of the students picked on her for wanting to do it, she's always had the goal in mind to be a teacher, and it didn't matter what person said that they didn't want her to, because at the end of the day, they were all young and dumb, and you know, what do they know about careers? She, along with Zero and Alice, all used to be tutors to get some extra money while working on the bigger goals in life, and she saw it as a personal first-hand experience as to what it would be like to be a teacher, and it just made her so much more excited. But when it came to getting an actual job, even though she was overqualified to be a teacher by that point, they never got back to her, and she ended up being a worker at some retail store that sells toilet brushes, which is something we can all relate to. We've all heard this once or twice or 3 or 4 or maybe even 100 times in our life. Go to college, getting jobs will be easier. Go to college, getting jobs will be a lot easier. Hey, if you go to college, you'll be able to get a whole wide variety of jobs a lot easier. And that's technically true, yes, but that's not the case. A lot of people are still struggling to find jobs, and this part is just making me sad. Honestly, I just feel sad for Sarah at the end of the day. It touches home, genuinely. But it's also making me think of regrets ago. And that's really all of her character in Terralong, to constantly bring Zero back to reality and force him, and in some cases the audience, to think about things less for once, especially at the end of the series. I understand why we don't, but I do wish we got to spend more time to understand Sarah's relationship with Alice, because they were friends even before Alice was friends with Zero, and I would have loved to see that, but this show isn't made by Sarah. it's not about her point of view. Sarah's way of smacking Zero back into reality when he starts going crazy assuming he may have been one of Alice's 13 reasons why is scary, because no one ever wants to think about certain stuff, but that's why I appreciate Sarah, because her character is there for the tough and hard decisions someone has to come through in their life. She tells it like it is, and that will always get a standing ovation from me. Getting shot with a little too much reality can be frightening at times, and a little scared, and we'll probably all run away from that. But not Sarah. Sarah's the type of person who will tell you how it is, will shove it into your face, will hammer it into you, will force you to come to terms with said reality until it just comes crashing down all around you. And this is one of the reasons we need her in our life. When she tells Zero that Alice has been trying to make a move on him the entire time they've known each other, she had to tell him it wasn't his fault and that he's not the person who drove her to do that. People have more sides to them that we know, sides that we'll never see. We're not the main character of a film, so we should stop thinking it's all about us and just accept that people are complex. And the complexity appears in this world, where Sarah decides that maybe the Nazis are right in not wanting the refugees to stay here, which is a really loaded thing to say, especially on live local television. But it's understandable because of what we have been talking about with Sarah's character. She's been seen as the mother of the group for so long that she feels stuck. Keeping everybody grounded and making sure they are successful is good and all, but you have to take time and help yourself out in the same way, because sometimes no one else will. She finally got her dream job of becoming a teacher, and it's going all downhill because this refugee building is here. Now no one is wanting to sign up for their school. At least that's what the television is wanting us to believe. But Sarah, being the morally great person that she is, found out the truth. After she made the claim, local people from the area came to talk to her, and she realized there's more than those issues going on that is causing a lack of people signing up for said school. They got no money, the walls and everything are filthy and deteriorating, and not to mention that it's a bad neighborhood in general. Sarah is the only person who would have had an experience like this, because Zero hates social interactions with people, which, you know, to be honest, he did do later on with the refugees. And Secco, at least according to the show, just doesn't really care about what other people think. I like how in this show it was kind of her who needed to be brought back to reality, unlike the previous series, but the guys and even her girlfriend couldn't help her. It had to be people a part of the school, people around the neighborhood to shed some light on how bad things really are, and how long it's been like that, which is something a lot of public schools can relate to. The lack of proper funding to keep things afloat is real. Sarah will always be one of my favorite characters in this show for that reason. She listens to the world and understands how complicated life and people can be, but even she has her flaws and messes up at times. We all need a Sarah in life, and that is where I will end the video. And with that being said, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this last tie-in I'm gonna do for the Terror Long thing, and I kind of wanted to start it with this one for my character studies series. If I'm gonna continue doing character studies on this channel, I think that'd be kind of cool, and this was a great beginning to do that with, while talking about the series that has gotten the most views on this channel. I thought that'd be a perfect way to cap off a series by starting a new series. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and leave some comments down below telling me how much you enjoyed it, because I know you did. And with that being said, I'll see each and every one of you around next time. I'll definitely reply back if I have time. Okay, goodbye.